Spring is here, and this is the time when we like to propagate our flowers. And one of the flowers that we like to propagate is the geranium. Geranium is a flower we propagate through stem cuttings.
And geraniums are one of the easiest flowers to propagate through stem cuttings. Take a cutting from a very healthy plant, remove all the leaves, and the propagation cutting should have a couple of nodes on it. Make a slanting cut at the base and a straight cut on the top, and leave it to hydrate before you start planting it out. We make a slanting cut at the bottom because we want more surface area to be exposed for the sprouting of the roots on the cutting. Additionally, you can scrap off or wound the bottom 1 inch of this cutting so that the cambium layer is exposed, more surface area is exposed for the sprouting of the roots on the cutting. And finally, it's not essential, but if you have the rooting hormone, it's best to dip that end into the rooting hormone before you bury it for propagation. Now these propagation cuttings should be buried at least about 2 nodes into any soil, any kind of a medium that you are burying them into. We have built a special window trough for the purpose. These window or the flower troughs are built almost outside all our windows in all our structures at the MeenaBagh Farms. Now the idea of course is to have these beautiful geranium flowers show outside your bedroom windows when you draw the curtains.
So, what time of the year should we do these stem cuttings?
In my experience, geraniums are so easy to propagate that you can do the propagation almost any time of the year. The important thing to remember when you're propagating or even when you're grafting your fruit trees is to take the cutting or the graft from a very healthy tree, from a plant which is flowering prolifically, because that is going to give out the traits to the cutting that you are hoping to propagate into a new plant. Now, apart from the fact that the geraniums are beautiful flowers and they are red, and red is our favorite color at the farm, geraniums are perennials. That is the reason that we are growing them in these window troughs, because we do not want to come in and plant something in, seed something in year after year. You put them in once, you propagate them in once, and you have these flowers blooming year after year.
Another very important quality of the geranium is that it's very cold hardy. We are at an altitude of almost 8,000 plus feet, and the geranium survives our very harsh winters where it snows, where there's a lot of frost. The geranium seems to bloom even when it's snowing. In fact, geraniums are the only other flowers apart from the native calendulas which are not only thriving but are blooming in the harsh winters we have in this part of the world. This type of propagation, where we take the stem from a parent plant and propagate it into a new plant, is by a means called an asexual reproduction. It's also called the vegetative propagation. Now, in this type of propagation, in this type of vegetative propagation, where you take the stem of a parent plant and you propagate it into a new plant, you preserve all the genetic traits of the parent and pass it on to the new plant you have propagated. Because what you have essentially done by this kind of a propagation is that you have taken a member of a parent plant and you have replicated that member. So obviously all the genetic traits of the parent are going to be mirrored in the new plant.